All right, hello and welcome to our spring 2021 back to school night. My name is Andrew Garrett, or Mr. Garrett as your kids know me. This is AP Statistics. First and foremost, just thank you for watching this video and taking an interest in your son or daughter's education. We made these videos in the fall. Obviously, it'd be a lot nicer if we could actually see you face to face right now. But with the situation being what it is, I guess this is the next best thing. But like I said, we made these videos in the fall, and I didn't really get a lot of feedback from them. So I don't know who watched them or whatever. So just thank you again for just watching this video and taking an interest in your kids' education. So that's the I guess the first thing I want to point out and thank you for. So I guess other than that, the purpose of this video is to, one, introduce myself, so you can kind of put a face to the name when maybe conversations about school get brought up at home. But then the second thing would just be to kind of give you a brief overview of the course, the AP Statistics course. I can also show you a little bit of what things look like online with our Schoology page, and so you can be somewhat familiar with that kind of stuff, so that when your kids talk to you about stuff, you can have a better idea of what they're talking about. So before I get into our Schoology page and everything, I'll also just take this opportunity just to talk about the course in general. And it's an AP course, it's an honors course, it's statistics. So yeah, those are all things that are probably pretty obvious. But as far as like our AP courses, I personally, having taught this course now for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, I have strong feelings about our AP courses. I think our AP courses are the best preparation that we give our students here at Cocalico for college. Just the rigor and the workload is going to be more comparable to what they're going to see in college. So I think it's great for students to be exposed to these kind of classes. Okay, so that I think this class is definitely going to challenge the kids, and I've told them that these are all students that are used to getting great grades. They're strong students. They're intelligent. But that doesn't mean that from time to time they can't be challenged, intellectually, and the material in this class is tough. I do think that I try to balance that out by grading in a way that stresses effort. Now I can't do that all the time because again it's an AP class. But I do try to look for opportunities to reward effort and things like that. So I always try to, get the students to buy into the fact that, yes, some tests are going to go well, some tests they might struggle a little bit more than other ones. But over the semester as a whole, if they're trying and they're giving their best effort, then they'll be okay. And what that looks like is different for everybody. That's another thing that these kind of classes help these students with, is it gets them to realize, what one student needs to do for a class might be different than what another student needs to do. So they're going to have to figure that out a little bit, and I'm there to help them if they take me up on that. So what I mean by that would be, if students struggle, I'm available for extra help. Usually in the mornings is the best time for me, but then also during focus, it's weird. It seems like a lot of our upper class students, more and more of them are having, unique looking schedules where maybe they're not here the whole day. So, I mean, if that's the case, then they're kind of giving up some focus time and things like that when they can get help. So that's something that, they're going to need to look at it. If they need help, that's another time, because focus is a great time too, but I know that everybody's schedule is different now. So anyway, but yeah, I'm definitely around to help and willing to help as students take me up on that. Let me think. Well, let's take a look at the course on Schoology, and then maybe that'll spark some other things that I want to point out. All right, so here's a look at our Schoology course page. So if your son or daughter goes to our course page, this is what'll show up. This is our materials page, and here's where they'll have access to all the different lessons that we'll be doing. So they can click on a chapter, click on a lesson, all that stuff. So I guess one thing or a couple things to point out. One would be, I usually try to post tests and quizzes that are upcoming over here, so they should know about that, but we talk about that in class too, so this is just a reminder. The other thing would just be, I do think this is definitely helping make it easier for students to stay organized, all of this virtual stuff here. So one example of that would just be that, I'm posting every day the directions, the assignments for that day. So sometimes I get emails or calls from parents, and they say, like, my son or daughter, is going to miss class today, or they missed class on Tuesday, or whatever. What did they miss, or what are they going to miss? Well, first, I would just recommend checking this. So yes, I'm fine with answering those kinds of questions, but before you ask those, definitely check this stuff first. So today is Wednesday, February 3rd. So these are the directions for today. But all previous weeks, would be over here too. So they could go to other weeks as well. So this was the first week. We only started on Thursday, so that's why there's just these. But long story short, again, there's a record of everything that we've done on specific days, and then they can go to those days to access the assignment, then go to those lessons to access the assignments for those days. Okay, so if you're interested, and here I'll talk about the syllabus here in a second, but the syllabus is here. This is more for your sons and daughters, just some informational stuff. But yeah, so that's what our Schoology course page looks like. So let's actually take a look at the syllabus now. So in the syllabus, you'll see that it gives some course description, that kind of stuff. So you can read that, and that'll talk about like topics we'll cover, and that's great. A lot of times those things make sense when you're in the class and don't make a ton of sense even at the very beginning of the semester. So I thought one thing that I point out to the students is that the syllabus does have this topic overview list here, which doesn't mean a whole lot to them right now, but it's a great study tool or a great resource as we get more into the course, because it shows the different lessons that we'll cover and then where they fit into the AP exam. Okay, so as far as how much of the AP exam would come from certain lessons, certain sections, that certain topics, those kind of things. So I think that's good. Something that might be a little bit more, useful or interesting to you. Here are some examples of some of the types of problems that we talk about in this kind of class. So the thing that I really like about AP Statistics is that it's definitely a class that focuses more on interpretation and meaning, inference, those kind of things. It's not the math that students do in AP Statistics is no more difficult than what they did in their Algebra 2 class. So it's not like a lot of these students have done math that they've had courses with concepts, mathematical concepts that are way more complicated than what we're doing in this class. The challenging part of this class is knowing how to use the numbers and how to interpret the numbers, that kind of stuff. So here's an example. We just had an election recently. When you're watching election results, polling results, things like that, they always talk about, survey results, and then they give margin of error. So in this class, we'll actually talk about, how to calculate the margin of error. So that's based on some things where these numbers come, like mainly this number right here, is based on some information we need from the problem. But the cool part is, in this class we get to actually look at how to make sense of real world data. So here they say 52% of potential voters are say that they're going to vote for candidate A for governor. Well, this shows us then that with this margin of error, 52%, while is a majority of the people that were polled, it's not enough to give us convincing evidence that a true majority already plans to vote for candidate A. Those are the types of things that we would talk about. Here's another example. So here's an expected value problem. So again, the math is not overly difficult. It's more just, here you have a life insurance policy. It's $250,000. Now this is based on the premium here, the amount that the person's paying for the policy is dependent on statistics. It's dependent on not as much this one person as it is more just people that fit, have similar characteristics to this person. But then we talk about how an insurance company will determine, how they're going to set the cost for their policies, what they can expect in return over many, many policies, that kind of stuff. Here's one where we're looking at how a manufacturer might set its warranty, so that it will make sure that it can, or it'll offer a warranty so that it gives customers assurance and maybe gets them to buy, maybe gets more customers to buy the product. But they also know in the long run, like based on if you read this problem, they're only going to have to replace around 3% of motors, so they can balance where they want to set, how many motors they're willing to replace versus, what they're offering to customers there. So, those are the types of things we get into experimental design, how to set up experiments that you can infer properly from them. And then we'll get into the actual process. So anybody that, I tell students that this is the kind of class where you don't necessarily have to become a math major to use this kind of stuff. Anybody that would deal in, data or research, whether they're conducting research or interpreting research, they're going to come across a lot of the stuff we talk about in this class, and this class will be extremely useful. Plus, it just gets people to think. It gets these kids to think, and I think you can't. I don't think that can be. I don't think they can get enough of that really, especially with the types of students that these, that are usually in this class. These are really usually generally really good students. So challenging them mentally, I think, is a really good thing. Here's some other syllabus stuff. These are the results for Cocalico on the AP exam in 2019. So last year was a fluky year with COVID and everything. I didn't get printouts. I didn't get results. The results were kind of all done differently. So this is the last time that the test was normal. And you can see we had 26 students take the test. Our school average was a 3.46. If you're not familiar with the AP test, it's out of 5. But your goal is really to get a 3 or better. A 3 or better is generally going to get you college credit. So you can see like the state average, the global average. So here, 88.5 or 89% of the students that took the test got a 3 or better. The reason why I bring that up is just hopefully to give, yes, to give me credibility as a teacher, but also I try to point that out to students to give them the confidence that if they do listen to the things that I'm asking them to do, and they trust the stuff that we're doing in class, they're going to be prepared for this AP exam. So yes, they need to work, but I'm also trying to point out to them that their work is not, it's not a waste. It's going to be, it's going to benefit them because we'll provide them the opportunity to do well in the AP exam. And then this is also in the syllabus. As far as grade breakdown, 70% tests and quizzes, 30% everything else. I think that's pretty standard for an AP class. All right, so as I said at the beginning, thank you very much for taking an interest in your kids' education, watching this video. If I think I try to go through the essentials of the class, give you some idea of the types of things that we're going to do and how things are kind of structured. So if anything else comes up, if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email, either now or as they come up throughout the semester. But Thank you for watching, and I look forward to a great semester. Thanks. Bye.